These credit cards have lost their minds. The simple credit card is dead, y'all. And in this video, I'm gonna break down this new version of the credit card industry that we're in, why the cost of a card holder continues to rise, and more importantly, why simple, easy to use credit cards are becoming a thing of the past. But before we get into all that, hi, I'm Lonnie, and credit cards have evolved from a convenient payment method to make quick purchases into incredibly complex financial instruments that almost require a dedicated personal assistant to manage. But the question here isn't why the change, but how did all this change? And can we have our simple cards back? Well, I'm not for sure, but I know what we can do. Let's talk about it. To start, remember when credits were simple? You got one, you used it, you paid it off. Maybe you got some cash back, maybe some airline miles. Easy, right? Well, buckle up, because in 2025, the world of credit cards has become a financial labyrinth, a spreadsheet nightmare, and a never-ending quest for optimizing benefits, and sometimes feel utterly out of reach. And all that starts with balancing the annual fee and the perks. Beginning with the elephant in the room, the price tag. It used to be that a premium card could cost you $450 a year, which used to be the gold standard. But in 2025, we are seeing eye-watering numbers. Nearly $1,000 just to hold a piece of metal. The banks will tell you not to worry, claiming you get way more value back on paper, and they're right. If you sum up every single credit on a card like the Amex Platinum, it's worth over $1,500. However, that's where the logic fails, because the focus on inflated credit values is precisely where we enter the coupon book era. Hold on, let me define this real quick. The coupon book era is a term used to describe the current state of premium credit cards, where banks have inflated the value of the card's credit to justify increasingly high annual fees. Instead of a simple, flexible rewards like cashback or unrestricted travel credit, cardholders receive a book of highly restrictive and complex credit that are difficult to use. That was a well-said explanation. Thanks. But it does go even deeper than that. Outside of coupon limitations, there's a secondary level of geographical and vendor limitations. Geography is the invisible limitation that nobody mentions, because here's the hard truth. If you're watching this video from your home in Manhattan, these premium cards are incredible. But if you live literally anywhere else, you could be subsidizing for the people who do. I call this the city slicker bias. Banks build these perk packages for their own executives, people who live in major metros and take Ubers to luxury gyms, but for everyone else, these benefits are just dead weight. Take dining perks, for example. Chase recently rolled out Sapphire Reserve exclusive tables. Sounds VIP, right? But look at the map. These reserved tables are almost exclusively in New York, San Francisco, and Chicago. If you live in Des Moines or Tucson, you are paying for a velvet rope that is thousands of miles away. Amex is the same story with their dining credit. It's locked to the Resi platform. If your local restaurants aren't Resi, which is dominant mostly in coastal cities, you physically cannot use the credit you're paying for. Then you have the lifestyle gap. You get a $300 credit for Equinox, a luxury gym that exists almost exclusively in wealth hubs. If you work out at Planet Fitness or your local YMCA, that credit is a paperweight. And for the person about to write in the comments, yes, you can use it for the app subscription, but then you still need to have space and access to equipment to use the app, which technically would be paying just to use the app. And even the Uber and DoorDash credits are tricky. I've had viewers tell me they've had to drive 30 minutes just to enter a delivery zone so they can burn a $10 Grubhub credit before it expires. That's not a perk. That's a chore. Okay, but let's say you live in the city. You still have to deal with the vendor lock. This is where the golden handcuffs come on. Even when they give you money back, they force you to spend it on their terms. Here it is. Check it out. Capital One Venture X, you get a $300 travel credit, but you can't book directly with the airline. You fall into the portal trap, where you have to use their booking system. Okay, how about American Express? They're even stricter. Their $200 airline credit requires you to pick one airline, usually in January, and you are stuck with it all year. And the kicker, it only covers incidentals like bag fees, not the ticket itself. Now, there are some unique ways to use the credit. I go in deeper detail in my members only video, so hit subscribe, don't forget to hit like, and consider becoming a member. That way you don't end up doing mental gymnastics just to trigger all these credits you already paid for. Look, the bottom line is simple. Unless you live in a major city, fly only one airline, or love booking through bank portals, you likely could be losing in the game. And speaking of losing, let's shift to the devaluation game and those hidden terms. Picking it right back up, the problem isn't just geography, it's stability. When you sign up for these cards, you think you're locking in a deal. In reality, you are signing up for a bait and switch. Because first, there's a devaluation risk. Points are not legal tender, they are a currency the banks control completely. An airline or hotel partner can wake up tomorrow and decide that the flight that you saved up for now costs 30% more points, meaning your hard work gets devalued overnight. Then you have the hidden terms, welcome bonuses that get clawed back because of the fine print violations, or benefits that vanish when issuers decide to change the rules. As I mentioned earlier, banks aren't giving you simple value anymore, they're giving you chores. Let's look at the math versus the reality. Take the Amex Platinum. To break even on that massive annual fee, you have to navigate a laundry list of credits that feels less like a VIP perk and more like a part-time job. Like the Uber credit, and it's $200 a year, but you can't use it when you want. It's drip fed to you in $15 monthly chunks. Use it or lose it. Then the Saks credit, $100, but split into $50 in the first half of the year, $50 in the second. Hope you need fancy socks in July. Also, the Resi credit, $400 on paper, but it's split quarterly. You have to book a specific table at a specific restaurant 4 times a year just to get your own money back. So then ask yourself this, if you weren't paying this annual fee, would you really be spending $50 at Saks twice a year? If the answer is no, that is not a benefit. That is you prepaying for shopping you didn't want. And it's not just Amex. Chase used to be the hero and own the simple option. I actually did a video on Chase winning the simple card in this video. I'll leave a link to it at the end. But being we're speaking about Chase, you got a $300 travel credit that worked on anything. Taxis, trains, flights, it was beautiful. But recently, they've joined the coupon book game too, just justifying their rising fees. They've added things like the Sapphire exclusive table. Again, restricting to tiny lists of restaurants in major cities. They even added $500 to the Edit hotel credit, but you have to book a minimum of 2 nights and also prepay. They even split the DoorDash credits into confusing categories like restaurant credits versus grocery credits. So why are they making it so hard? There's actually an industry term for this. It's called breakage. Hey, you want to take this one? Oh yeah, for sure. So breakage is the revenue banks keep when you forget to use a credit. The banks are betting on you to fail. They are betting you will forget to use that $15 Uber credit in February. They are betting you'll be too busy to book that quarterly Resi dinner. Every single dollar of credit you forget to use is pure profit for them. The complexity isn't a bug, people. The complexity is the business model. Right. So you paid the fees, you jump through the hoops, and you finally have a mountain of points. Now comes the hardest part, actually using them. Welcome to the Redemption Gauntlet. The first thing you have to do is survive the transfer maze. If you have a Chase or Amex card, you aren't just dealing with one airline. You are staring at a dizzying map of over a dozen transfer partners. To get the maximum value, you can't just click redeem. Nah. You have to be a forensic accountant. You have to hunt for which partner airline has a transfer bonus this week, check if that airline actually releases Saver Award seats, and pray that the transfer ratio is 1-to-1. It's a full-time job where a single mistake, like transferring to the wrong alliance partner, can leave your points stranded forever. But then, let's say you book a flight through their travel portal. If anything goes wrong, you could enter the customer service doom loop. And don't even get me started on technical glitches. There is nothing more terrifying than finding the perfect flight, transferring 100,000 points, and then hitting a system error. We see this consistently. Phantom availability, where a flight shows up on a search engine but doesn't actually exist when you click book. Or worse, your transfer gets flagged for fraud review because you moved too many points at once. By the time the bank unlocks your account, usually 3 days later, that dream vacation is gone. Not gonna lie, that one doesn't happen as much, but I have heard of it happening. And then finally, we have to ask the uncomfortable question, who is actually paying for all of this? We like to think that these free flights and luxury hotel stays are gifts from the benevolent banks. They aren't. They're funded by something called interchange fees. Every time you swipe that heavy metal card, the merchant, whether it's your local coffee shop or giant retailer, pays a processing fee. For a standard debit card, that fee is tiny. But for a premium rewards card like a Visa Infinite or American Express Platinum, that fee is significantly higher, sometimes upwards of 3% or 4% of the transaction. And these merchants, they're not charities. To survive these rising fees, they do the only thing they can. They raise their prices across the board, and this is where the system gets ugly. When we as travelers buy a $5 latte with our Sapphire Reserve, we get points back that effectively lower the cost. But when a college student pays for the same latte with a debit card, or the person standing behind you pays cash, they are paying the inflated price without getting anything back. This creates a reverse Robin Hood effect. The people paying with cash and basic debit cards are unknowingly subsidizing the first class vacations of the people with the premium cards. The system isn't just complicated, it's designed to transfer wealth from the checkout line to the airport lounge. So with all that, what do you think? Are the days of the simple credit card dead? Is this life now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and check out this video next. And here's the one that I mentioned earlier. All right? Catch you in the next one. Peace.